Okay, what's going on there, YouTube? This is Pete's 1800 on the 2018 1800 Goldwing. Mrs. 1800's on the back there.
Oh.
And let me tell you what happened the other day. This happened. Well, we've got something interesting going on here. The check engine light has come on at 10,914 miles. Strange, we stopped for breakfast. When I went to start up, it started kind of hard. Almost like it had a dead battery. And then nothing happened. Then we stopped and got gas, and then the light came on. So, that's interesting. Never ever have I had that problem come up on a Goldwing. The two I've owned, anyway. I'm sure it has to other people. So, I guess when I get home, I'll have to hook her into the old ODI reader, figure out what's going on, assuming I can find out where the ODI is on this thing. If I look in the manual, hopefully it's just under the seat or someplace accessible where I don't have to take everything off to get to it. That's just kind of odd. The bike's running fine, so I'm thinking of probably maybe to put the gas cap on tight enough or something. We'll find out. So stay tuned. We'll be back in the garage right after this important message from nobody. So after that, I pulled the battery, did all that, cleared the code, so I thought, and then it came back on. Well, we were out riding last weekend, stopped someplace real quick after a bite to eat, and just kind of went back out, and the bike would not start. So we both looked at each other like, "Oh, Rorge." And what was your exact thoughts on that? Like, oh great, we're stuck.
Yeah, it was really hot, and it was like the midday, and we were, 40 minutes from home or something?
At least, yeah.
And I'm like, what are we going to do, call AAA? They carry motorcycle batteries or starters?
They do motorcycles, yes. So.
Yeah, so it was a little concerning.
Yeah.
Because at that time I was a little tired, but
yeah.
I knew you'd figure it out.
Yeah.
Or, you take care of it somehow, so.
Yeah.
Because you're awesome like that.
Yeah. Well, let's hope. So, immediately, my thoughts originally were always to the battery. There's something wrong with the battery, because what happened is it wouldn't crank. And so I was like, okay. Turned it off, let it sit for a second, then it fired up really hard. I mean, it was a real rough start, but it started. And the check engine light came back on, so got home, pulled the battery, let it out of the bike for, I don't know, a couple hours, and put it back in. The code still didn't clear. But one of the other problems I had too was it wasn't just that. We also where we were at had a gravel parking lot, and so I was trying to use reverse, and that sounded like just grinding gears. You could just hear the solenoid just couldn't engage the thing. So I was like, well, maybe that's the problem, because it's just not. Maybe that's because on this bike the starter and everything is in one thing, in reverse. So the DCT is the actual gearing. So anywho, so that was a big problem. So I took the battery down, got it tested. It's fine. So what I did is I pulled all the, so I cleaned it. Then I pulled all the breakers, or the circuits, the fuses. And they had some corrosion on, especially the main. So I cleaned all those up. Started back up, check engine light was still on, and rode around my neighborhood. Parked it for 10 seconds, turned it off, turned it back on, and it's cleared. And ever since then, it's been starting fine and running okay. So,
do you think it was the corrosion?
It could be, but I also think it's something to do with the reverse. So I did some research on that. So I'm going to do a video on how to adjust your reverse cable because when it's slacked up, I can feel it. Your reverse cable's on the right side down under here, and the adjusters, believe it or not, are under that. So under the left side where your knee's at, that little cubby hole, when you have the 6-speed manual, that would be where the parking brake is for the DCT. So I'll do a video on that, and then I'll let you know how it goes. But until then, we'll talk to you later, and ride safe and ride often.